Well, Zach was 26 years old, and he was a boy that just really wasn't any trouble. A very good student, very good athlete, positioned very well to be a happy adult and with a new career and a new home, and just a great time in all our lives. Yes, it was last year, December 11th. Arrived home here in Cincinnati probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, and early in the morning, approximately 8:30, the phone rang, and it was my good friend Mel Lerner that you'll see sitting with me in the front rows in 10:30 service almost every Sunday. And he told me that my son Zach, who was one of his sales managers, was late. There was a bad accident on the Brent Spence Bridge involving a red motorcycle, which my son had a red motorcycle. When I couldn't get any information, I, of course, was dressed by that time, and I got in my car and started down I-75 towards the Brent Spence Bridge. And when I hit Galbraith Road, the bridge or the traffic was totally stopped, so I got in the right-hand lane and very quickly drove past everybody till I got to the bridge, which was closed off, and there was a policeman there, and told him that I had to get to the other side of the bridge because I think my son was down there. And of course, they're not going to let you do that. Stereotypical movie-type scene. The black sedan came up over the hill, and four suited detectives got out of their car and walked up to me and asked me to see my identification. I showed it to them, and they said the accident on the bridge, it was his fatality that day, it was my son. My first thought was to call my older sister Pam and to tell Pam just to get everybody and get to the church. I didn't know what other place of refuge that I could go to that would help put some sense to that at the time. By the time I got to the church, of course, Trevor was here, and a number of people from the church were here, and my family was here, and we were all just in shock at that point. I started thinking that I had to come to grips with it through God, and I knew that I had to take my relationship to a whole nother level that I never even understood, although I thought I did. What happened through all of it, all this love just poured out of the church and the community and my friends. I realized that my anchors were things that were there for me, that had always been there, and things that I had always believed. That number one, that I knew that Zach was only gone in body. That I knew, it came to me that I was going to get to see him again. The perception is to start wondering, why you, and why is it only you? And to really start thinking if all these things we've heard were always true, that why would you take him so early? He was just starting his life. And I came to realize that it really wasn't about that, that it was, if there was a supreme being, if there's a God, and he created this wonderful, beautiful boy and man, and who am I to say that his time on earth here wasn't the right time? Who was I to say it wasn't the right time for him to go home? There's been just an outpouring of my friends that have said that they have gone back to church, that they've watched my walk, and there's only one way that they are seeing now that my walk could be so strong, that it was above me. And my family members have started coming to church. There's a real message that can be taken from this tragedy, and let it permeate and let it reach other people. For one person to know the Lord, if it would save their life, to sacrifice your son is one that, over the years we've taught, my good Christian friends and I that have boys, we'd say, could you sacrifice your son? And I don't think anybody would say yes. When the most precious thing in your life can be taken from you, you have to realize you're just not in control. And when that can happen, if you can bring one person that can bring another person, but wonder if you have an opportunity to tell the story to bring thousands of people. So I didn't get to choose this. I've had to react to it. I've had to understand that I think it was God's way of now putting a completely different viewpoint on so many things that are important in life to me. The journey, and I think what's been so important to me, is there's a great song that Christine DeMarco wrote, and off the song that "It Is Well." You know, that's a man who lost his son first, then 4 daughters, and his wife. And when I think about the meaning of through it all, my eyes are on you. I've kept my eyes. My eyes have never left God. And if you would have asked me before this, I would have told you I would not know what would have happened if I lost one of my boys. But through it all, my eyes have been on God, and through it all, it is well, and it is well with me.